Hey guys, you're watching Daniel and Gian review, and today we are going to do a full review on Anurag Kashyap's 2013 feature film, Ugly. This is a crime drama, kidnapping. I don't know what you want to call it. It's definitely got a lot of stuff going on in it. It's definitely what I like to call a boner dropper.
The title of the film fits the story.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way.
Ugly describes a lot of things about the narrative of this film.
I mean, let's just get into it. I mean, one of the best scenes in the movie has nothing to do with the plot of the movie, but is an ugly thing. When they finally go to look for the girl, after all of the bullshit, and they finally go look for her, because the cops finally like, oh, this is serious, this might be an actual kidnapping. And he says, we found 8 girls in the search of the one. So it was like, what the fuck have they been doing up until that point?
Yeah.
Nothing. You know, there's girls missing all over the place, and not just those girls. I'm sure there's boys. There's all over. You know, and I didn't do any more further reading upon, you know, after watching the movie to see, like, how much statistical, you know, kidnappings happen, whatever, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But clearly that was written in there. Because
it's an issue, absolutely. No, that was definitely, like, it was crazy. It was all bad. I mean, yeah.
This is also the second movie we've watched about this stuff in India. I mean, John Abraham's movie is about that. It's a remake, I understand, but even still, it's like, it's still relevant enough for people to get engaged.
There's kidnapping going on in Slumdog Millionaire I know not everyone's favorite film.
I don't remember. For what?
They kidnap the kids.
It's been a while since I've seen it.
They put them out to beg in the streets.
That's right.
Yeah.
I remember that. Well, see, so there you go. I
know.
No, it's pretty disgusting, but more so in the line of, like,
then stuff like, you know, the fair-skinned ones are for the locals, and then the darker ones are for the foreigners,
which is interesting.
It was almost a throwaway line, and they didn't go any deeper with it, but you can you understand what they're doing.
What the implication of that means.
Yeah, exactly.
This is like a Coen Brothers movie crossed with, like, I don't know, just because Coen Brothers, in the sense of the movie's about nothing.
Yeah.
The movie's genuinely about nothing. When you take a step back and you say, okay, what did I just watch? Not a lot of anything. A lot of, because when you think about it, everything that happens is for nothing. Like, all of the drama is all false and fake because it's all basically the behavior of the people are so bad that they're creating this.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Burn After Reading that's an example.
Yeah.
What did we learn, Palmer?
I don't know, sir.
I don't fucking know either. I guess we learned not to do it again.
Yes, sir.
I'm fucked if I know what we did.
Yes, sir. It's hard to say.
Jesus fucking Christ.
The only thing that's missing was the humor. There was
exactly.
nothing funny.
But I'm saying, all the stakes are being made up on the spot, and I don't mean that as in that this isn't based on a true story or anything like that. But I mean, the stakes are all self-made.
Right.
There really wasn't a kidnapping. I mean,
there was.
But it wasn't like how the plot made it seem like it was going to be.
Definitely not.
And it wasn't like Gone Girl, where it was some other construed plot. This is just people just.
Well, yeah, it was Coen Brothers in the sense that everybody, like, it just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger until everything blew up. It just blew up in everybody's face, and the solution was there the whole time.
Right in front of them, from the beginning, too. Like, literally, I'm like, why the hell is this?
And it's the cop's fault.
Why is the cell phone thing? Like, oh shit. My daughter, when she calls me, doesn't have my picture. Like, I'm like, why the fuck is this scene so long?
Right.
This is important. Something must be going on right now. Let me pay attention.
क्या बोल रहा तू? फोन पे फोटो क्या बोल रहा है अभी? तो जब मैं फोन करता हूँ तो मेरा फोटो आता है पापा कॉलिंग करके. क्या होता है? हाँ वो क्या? पापा? पापा कॉलिंग करके मेरा फोटो आता है. पापा कॉलिंग.
Well, it makes you wonder, is the movie a commentary on the ineptitude of the police?
I would have to say, yeah.
Or is it also a commentary about greed and just...
I'd say it's all of that shit.
You know, there's
human
just a lot
conditions.
of things going on.
Human conditions. Yeah. That's what I relate to it the most. It's all human conditions. I feel like we've seen, not all of Kashyap's films, but enough to see that he's all about humans,
right?
Human condition, and like what we're gonna do in certain situations.
Not the positive side of humanity at all.
But just like Scorsese. Scorsese doesn't deal with the positive side.
Well, he had that one kids movie.
Hugo, yeah, okay, all right, I'll give you that. That's fair. But I'm saying for the most part, it's usually the ramifications of greed or the lifestyle, whatever that is for Scorsese. This, it's like, it's just everyone's fucked up. I mean, the movie literally opens up with the wife she puts a gun in her mouth.
Which I thought was an awesome way to start the movie. Like you don't
it
know,
lets you know right away where
the world you're in. Absolutely,
it's uneasy.
Like I was like, I didn't know, I didn't read up on the movie. I had no idea what it was
Right.
about. And the first thing you see is this woman about to shoot herself, and there's a knock at the door, and it's her
There's a little
daughter.
girl.
पापा का फोन आया नहीं
There's two scenes that involve gunfire, and both of them, like both of the people who were shooting the guns, might as well have been the fucking Imperial stormtroopers in Star Wars. Because the dude with the shotgun shoots the guy who robs the bank,
Yeah.
right? The main character. Nothing happens to him. The wife shoots the fucking cop point blank, and all it does is shoot him in the shoulder.
Right.
Both times, stylistically, it cuts to black, and you don't see what happens. Which the first time, I'm like, okay, I'll go with it. The second time, I was like.
Well, that didn't bother me much. I knew what he was going for. Like I
So did
understand
I.
what
I
he was trying to
got
do
it.
with it, and it was kind of a misdirect.
You had to release the tension. That
Yeah.
was really what it is. But I'm just kind of like, okay, that was a little bit of a bump. Plus, there is no real lead character, which to me is a downside of this movie, because unlike Rocky Handsome, and I know these are two different movies, but in that one there's a through line. It's all about getting the girl back, whatever it means we're gonna get this girl back. In this, the main guy, the father, who we think we're following at the beginning, he kind of falls off, and then we kind of go follow all these other people.
I'd argue he was still the main person in the movie.
He kind of
Like,
disappears though.
The majority of the
for a
film
good
is
chunk.
him. I mean, you could say the same about Pulp Fiction. Fucking Travolta's the lead, but he dies halfway
I would
through
say
the movie.
there's no lead in that movie. But again, it's not a criticism. I like the movie. I enjoyed it for as much as I could enjoy a movie like this. It wasn't Ramon Regal 2.0 for me, but because there's like these weird flashback scenes that
like if I'm gonna make
threw the pacing off.
one criticism in there was like I feel like the flashback sequences and just that relationship back in college between the police, the officer, the ex-wife and the guy was unnecessary. It didn't advance.
Are you
the
really gonna
script at
hold
all.
a grudge that much?
Right, like he could have still been the asshole that he was without having that whole old,
It did make no sense.
because I mean he had like legitimate things to not like the guy about. The guy's a fucking deadbeat.
But is it that much to say that he kidnapped your daughter right away? Because I mean, he's literally who put it all in motion when you take it all back. Because they called him, and then he immediately the dad got arrested because the cop said that he kidnapped
Right, but that's
him.
because he's been recording his wife's
is a-
conversations, which is shady as well. I mean, that was like the guy was shady as shit too. Like everybody in this film was shady, like, or
Everybody was.
or an idiot. Like the first cop, the guy that's the coach from Dongal, like the guy's just a moron from jump. What do you mean your face came up on the phone? And
Which
then
is great. He's
I mean,
funny.
the whole time, like I was hoping that the friend kidnapped it, and then we got to see the kid at the end. But
I mean,
no.
we did get to see the kid at the
Well,
end.
we did, but it had nothing to do with him. Like I was hoping that there was a whole hoax.
There was no Rocky Handsome ending on this
No,
one.
there was
sure.
definitely not, man, and it was fucked up. It was fucked up.
I gotta give it. I don't know if it's just Kashyap or just some Indian films. Because Sairat is another movie. Indian films have balls, man. I mean, we might have our problems with the music sometimes. It doesn't always match up with our sensibilities. Sometimes the music works, sometimes it doesn't. Whatever. But in terms of endings, I mean, Sairat, Ramon Regal, like they kind of say, no, we're gonna stay in this world. We're not gonna really give you the happy ending if the movie
definitely.
doesn't deserve
I mean,
it.
it's a sense of realism,
Which I like.
Yeah.
That's the thing I like. It doesn't make me want to, I don't want to watch this movie again, which I feel like is another reoccurring thing we say about these movies, where it's like, okay, the ending worked, but I don't know if I'm going to watch Sairat
Right,
again.
exactly.
I don't know if Ramon Regal I'll watch again, because to me, that's like still a great movie. But I don't know. What else did you like or not like?
I mean, I felt like you're seeing, this is the third Kashyap film we've watched, and you're definitely picking up on the style. Like it's there, like he's just a lot of the same lighting, the cinematography is very similar. It's a style, and it's his style, and it's cool, and I appreciate that.
But he definitely has a style.
Yeah,
for sure.
I mean, it was just that I was confused the entire time. Like I was like the same. I was like, what's going on? Where's this going? Like, and I was like and it was a lot of misdirects everywhere. Like, is this real? Is this? And then like just people kept on, and then finally you get to a point where like, okay, this is all fake. Like everyone's like an opportunist about
That's what I was
this.
trying to say earlier.
You know,
how
like,
it's all
everyone's just taking advantage of
Right.
the situation, and it's like just exposing how shitty they are.
All of
and the
them.
only person that I even slightly had any sort of like sympathy for was the wife, because she seemed to
didn't
be
really do anything.
in the shittiest part of the situation.
Although she did ask for $1.5 million extra.
Right, but why did she do it? She did it because
She had the
she's a
opportunity
prisoner
to.
in her own home.
Yeah,
you know,
no,
and she was
that's what
looking
I'm
for
a way
some
out.
sort of freedom. It just kept going places, and there was no solid like narrative for sure. It was just kind of like, let's check in with this guy, let's check in with that guy, and then, you know, it just seemed like they weren't going anywhere. And then people like the people with their kidnapping money stuff, like their ransom, they just made it worse. They just took the cops off the main.
That's
the
why I
main
was saying like
investigation as
Fargo,
well.
where it was like Fargo's. The reason why I use Fargo as an example because literally he's the one who kidnaps his own wife, right? And you know it from the beginning.
Yeah.
But he hires the wrong people. He gets everyone he dies, all these people get killed and shit because of his one action, right? So it's literally a movie of consequences,
Right.
which is kind of what this movie is. It's the same thing, and that's why I compared them to. But
Yeah.
when you really take a step back and like, okay, well, what is the movie about? Nothing. I mean, it's about nothing. I mean, really, it's not about anything. What's the art?
No, I think it's
There's no
it's
arcs.
about it's about what people do when they see like they can take advantage of a situation.
Did you feel like this was too extreme? Meaning, let me clarify a little bit. Do you feel like the events that took place in the movie were too out there?
No.
Did it ever break the realm of like,
No.
I didn't believe
I
this?
completely feel. I feel like that shit happens.
So, isn't it
time.
weird how the drama that's in this movie and the twists and turns, we completely buy it all, but they're just as absurd and crazy as like the twists in like Race 3. But that just goes to show you how important. Well, you didn't see Race 3, but it just goes to show you how important writing is, directing.
Yeah, and I mean,
Editing,
and I also think
acting,
like
story.
like big explosions also take you out.
It's true.
of
I'm
stuff.
just saying, but
like
there's
those like extreme like ridiculous action. There was no ridiculous action in this movie. There was
But
no
if you
action.
if
in
you
this
made
movie.
this movie though, but you stylized it and you made it Hollywood and you cast the wrong people, you could really make this.
Oh,
People would
absolutely.
go crazy. Like, oh, now he's going to be the kidnapper. Oh, now you could have been going because
Absolutely, and I mean, I think it.
I didn't do that.
I think it also has to do with if we set that in Los Angeles, we wouldn't believe it.
With Indians?
No,
or just in general?
no, just in general. Like if we,
Unless it was taken.
which is
And it was an
nobody
action
believes
movie.
that, but everybody knows that's full of
Well,
shit
that's what I'm
too.
saying.
Yeah, what I'm saying, you put it in Los Angeles, you put it in New York, you put it in any city in America, you don't believe that'll happen. There's no way that'll happen. There's no way that could go down that way.
Maybe not that far.
Not
Because
no.
there's
But it's
just-
because of this assumption that we have that that's how bad things are in
In India.
and that's why we buy it. And
But
it might be, it might not be.
But
And
that's how the movie portrays it,
Absolutely.
though. So like we can't.
Yeah.
It's not our fault if we.
no,
assume
we don't
that.
live there. We
Right.
don't read the newspapers. We have no idea like the things that go down in this town.
Absolutely not. I mean, we
I mean, it was crazy that they weren't following up it just,
On any of them. Just to find the one thing.
because it was the dude's
It
daughter.
has to be. It
or
has to be. It
stepdaughter.
has to be a commentary
Yeah.
on police because this is not the first movie where we've seen corrupt ass cops.
Right.
It's just
Well, I wouldn't even say they're corrupt.
they
were
just don't
inept.
give a shit. Yeah,
Yeah.
they just don't. They don't have the resources or they don't.
I mean,
they don't have the motivation to go do.
Look, what's one of the reasons why we don't have respect for cops here?
because they shoot black people.
Well, no, respect for them. That's different. We don't. I usually don't respect cops because most of the time they're not very smart. They weren't the best students. They're cops because it was the only job they could get, and it was a well-paying job.
And I feel like there's a little bit of their authority. So
Well,
it's like,
look,
fuck you. You
there's
don't
two
get to
kinds of
troll me.
people, and I might be completely wrong, but in my lifetime, it's two kinds of people that become cops: bullies and people that used to get bullied, and now they're bullies. You know, you rarely find even-keeled people that say, "Hey, I want to be a police officer." You know, and I feel like that's around the entire planet. You know, maybe when you get to like a detective or something where you're like investigating stuff, maybe it changed a little bit, but you know, the regular beat cops, you know,
I mean, what's their that's what I'm saying. What's the incentive? What's the motivation?
People want to have a gun.
I'd rather just show up.
They want to drive around. Some people want to drink coffee and eat donuts. That shit is real.
The one thing that, and we've said this before in other reviews, and we're going to say it again, the fucking worst part about this movie had nothing to do with the movie at all, and has to do with the fucking stupid Indian censor board. Dude, every time they were smoking, that shit would just annoy me. With the little censorship thing, it's so annoying to me. Like, what I don't understand, genuinely, and let me know in the comments, like, how this works. I'm like 99% sure that there was smoking in Race 3. I'm like 99% sure. There wasn't one fucking tag on there about it. Does it not apply to the same standards? Was that only in 2013? Is it no longer applicable now?
Could it also be because that copy was sent to be screened in the U.S.?
I don't know, but it's burned in on the Netflix version.
Right, but that might be because they got it.
I don't know.
Stuff from India. It might has something to do
I'm
with
just
that.
saying it's fucking annoying.
You've already seen more than one Indian film. Did you see the smoking thing in the other ones?
No, but I've seen it in Kashyap shit.
Okay, but you didn't see a Kashyap film in the theater.
No.
So it just might be the print that the theater gets.
Maybe.
You know.
But I'm just saying. If that's what I'm saying, let me know in the comments, because it's stupid. What would you do if you had a movie? Would you like say, okay, I'll let you put your shit on there, I don't care, or would you fight it?
No, I think if it's where it's screening, and if that's how they put it on every movie, why would I fight it?
I don't know.
If you send it to a festival circuit, it's not going to have it. But when you screen it in India, it's going to be on there. I mean, that's just kind of how it works, man.
I don't know, man. I think that's bullshit.
That's just kind of like you have a movie that...
Well, because they already fucking...
It's like you loving a movie that's going to get rated X, and you're like, I won't take this scene out.
I get that, but there's a difference, though, because at least the content is provoking that X. A cigarette's not provoking shit.
Yeah, but...
Especially when most of those movies, they have, like, this is what happens when you smoke, and they show, like, fucking the worst lungs, people, like, fucking with holes in their throat. Not at the start of this movie, but I've seen it in Indian movies where they fucking show, like, 3.5 minutes of, like, cancer shit, and they show it in English, in Hindi, in whatever fucking other language it is, like... I don't know. Obviously, it's a censorship shit, but censorship triggers me, man.
But if you grew up watching it, what movies with that, you're not gonna think twice about it.
That doesn't make it right.
It's not a censorship thing. It's just telling people. It's a warning thing. It's not censorship. It's not like they're blurring the cigarette out. It's not like they're like putting something over the screen when people smoke.
In Rocky Handsome, they blurred the body out at the end.
Right, that's censorship. That's completely different. But
so it's just I don't know.
Hey man, people in Japan watch pornos with blurred vaginas and dicks, man.
I don't understand that. I don't get that either.
So I mean, but when you grow up, if that's the porn that you're watching.
Isn't it free there though? Don't they have that on like a regular channel? It's not like local news channel.
I don't think that's true.
I feel like
I'm pretty sure that's not true.
Yeah, but they have octopus porn in Japan, so why would you need to look at regular penises when you have that? I don't know,
man. You're right. Hentai is the business, man. So I don't know. That little stuff, like whatever, that's not.
I know.
They're not for us.
It bothers me. It triggers me. It's just plus. It's just. It's not even when they're smoking. It's just like anytime there's a cigarette. Like at the end, like this is a genuine example in which I was annoyed by it. So at the very end, when you kind of know what's about to happen, you kind of know they found a body, right? You don't know what body it is, but you kind of have an idea. The dude has a cigarette in his hand, the main cop. He's not lighting it, he's not smoking, he doesn't have shit, and it's just boom, it's there.
Right.
So now my eyes gravitate to that for a second, just because it pops up, right? And it's just a natural instinct to look, and then you got it. I don't know, it just takes me out. But
I mean, speaking about the end of the movie too, like... It's just like, I guess it's an existential question or something, but that lady that was selling the masks, like, why the fuck didn't you, like, say something right off the bat if you knew where the little girl was at? Why didn't you check, if you knew the little girl was there? Like, that was kind of confusing.
Get in trouble.
Okay, but she could have let the girl go. She could have kept the girl alive. It looks like the girl died. Why? Because she starved to death? Or
I don't know.
That was a little... It had only been 5 days, and the girl was already rotting, and she died immediately. Like, I'm not sure. Like,
well, you wouldn't starve to death in 5 days.
No, you wouldn't. That's what I'm saying. It was a bit odd.
So maybe they killed her. I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe she was dead the whole time. Maybe they couldn't have saved her. So.
I don't know. Well, they don't show that. They never show that.
No, they don't show that.
And thank God they didn't show that. Like,
no.
I forgot what movie we watched. And they showed the whole attack.
Oh, the attacks of 2611.
Is that what it was?
Yeah. Where they shoot the little kid in the lobby?
No. It wasn't that movie. No. There was a movie where you kind of watch all of the whole thing, and at the very end, it shows, like, what actually happened during the drunk thing. Oh, Pink. It was Pink.
Where they showed you,
Like, the night of, at the very end, when the movie's
exactly
fucking over.
What actually happened.
Which you didn't need to, like, thank God it didn't show it, because A, I didn't need to see it, but B, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I got it. I got the gist of it. But that lady was creepy anyway.
Yeah.
She looked like she did some shit.
Well,
like
they said she'd been arrested for kidnapping.
Well, I mean, when they first talked to her.
Right.
Like, but I mean, I like the setups to the whole thing. You know, when they were looking around and then the guy's phone rings and it's the girl's phone. You know, these little like small little setups to kind of get you involved in the story.
Yeah.
Where they played out nice, a good chase.
I mean, I like
scene.
how he's got his head run over
by a car.
Yeah.
He got wrecked, to say the least. But you know, let's see what else.
That was the only funny moment when they're chasing him and then he gets hit by that car and dies. Like that was the only time where I like kind of giggled.
You laughed.
Yeah, that was the first and last time.
You didn't laugh at the whole cell phone bit, like that whole conversation?
Yeah, that was kind of funny too. Yeah, but by
it's good acting though. They were all good
Yeah.
actors. I feel like they were all.
Except for nobody seemed to have any concern. Like even the dad didn't really seem to be that concerned that his daughter was missing.
This is true. I got to admit that. I have to admit, because it was when I wrote it down in my book, like as the scene was happening, and then like I didn't say anything because by the time the movie ended, like that problem wasn't a problem anymore. But I wrote down, why isn't he telling the fucking dude, fuck the phone, find my kid, like right off the bat. Like that's what. If this were an American film, quote unquote, like Gone Girl, they would have said, I want to find my kid. Where's my kid?
But then the cops would have countered more because the only reason why they were questioning him was because the guy got run over.
No, I know. I'm just.
But
I wrote it. That's why.
But
I
it was all like
discredited
really. It
because
was all blasé, like totally like everyone's attitude about their attitude about the guy getting killed in the middle of the street was like whatever.
This shit happens.
Then her getting kidnapped was whatever, and immediately you turn into. Well, was it you? Did you kidnap your own kid before the chief of police or whatever the hell his position was came in? They were already like.
That's why I didn't bring it up.
Before they made any sort of connection to dude, you know, to what's his name?
It was a tough 2 hours.
Yeah, no, it was tough because you didn't like anybody. That's the thing. You did not like any single person. The chief.
And even the people you did like,
you didn't like them that much.
You ended up not liking them because they ended up doing some tricky shit. Or they ended up doing whatever, because like the dad went and robbed a thing. Like poor dude, fucking robbed the place for nothing. Like, but that's the thing that kind of annoyed me because that didn't turn into anything.
Right.
Like that didn't. You know, they definitely set up moments that didn't really get resolved properly, or they set up nice little. But it was all for misdirect. Like the robbery thing was an interesting twist, and the fact that he went through with it.
And he got released again.
But it didn't. Yeah. It didn't, what was the point? No point.
I was thinking he was the guy with the shotgun, that he was going to shoot the guy with the shotgun.
So did I. And then he was going to get in some real shit.
Yeah,
now
exactly.
He's fucked. Now he's in action.
Yeah,
now
and just like really just escalate the stakes.
But that didn't happen.
No, it kind of stopped himself from taking it to the next extreme. That's the one. I mean, that's another criticism. Like every time you could see it going to another extreme, it stopped. You know.
Which I guess you could argue to keep it contained to what it was about.
Yeah.
But I don't. I think that's a shortcoming.
Yeah.
I think if the movie would have went, because the movie did go to places that you didn't expect it to.
Right.
So why not go to these extra steps if you're in this world of reality? Because I mean.
And then it could have made it more about him instead of everybody else.
True, and then you also have the caller who just happens to be away from the phone. Like everyone's listening to all the phone calls, and then the one moment with the brother, because like the brother was out of nowhere. I didn't understand.
Yeah.
Like he's at the beginning, and then he takes the money. But who's the guy that they released from jail?
He's a gangster. He's just I guess he's just like a neighborhood criminal.
Which I didn't like. Shit. That was some part that I didn't really.
Oh, and we never really like. He comes back and says, "Hey, I got something for you," and then we never find out what it was, and we never hear from him again.
There's then we.
It was just about people using like VPNs, basically.
Yeah, these people were brought up and then not really fleshed out. We've already talked about the flashback, like the one with the guy who actually, when he finally sleeps with the dude's wife, or that's implied. So they were hating each other from then. Like there was these weird implications that were being made in the past.
And it seemed like it was a setup. Like he like had him go over there and like.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I don't know. But But
yeah, I don't know. There's just a bunch of little shit like that wasn't necessary. Like you really didn't need to. We didn't need to go into why their relationship dissolved.
which just goes to show that
you know.
this probably could have been even leaner and tighter and still been just as effective.
I think so.
But
Anyways, I mean, if you haven't watched it, totally recommend watching it. It's intense, and it's.
some say it's his best movie. I would have to say.
I'm gonna disagree with that.
Yeah.
Not my favorite movie of his. It wasn't bad. I liked it, but it
wasn't bad at all.
Definitely not my favorite.
He's
Not
done
his
better.
best for me. But no. Yeah, that's gonna do it for me. Anything else you want to say?
No.
All right, short review. Thanks for watching, guys. You know the drill. Smash that like button, leave comments. But make sure you check out Reaction Hour if you haven't checked it out yet.